Hello people, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Okay guys, I got a post here from Genfinity, and they say exclusive. Dovu is bringing $1 billion in carbon credit assets to Hedera. CEO Irfan Watkins, quote, "The idea is to give 600 million to family farms in America," unquote. Okay, real great stuff to see here. So we've got King Solomon who's doing the interview with Irfan Watkins, and this is a big deal, guys. And I know a lot of people, when they look at this kind of stuff, carbon credits, they probably find it a bit boring. Look, I can completely be honest here and say that carbon credits and stuff like that is not exactly my expertise either, in all honesty. But there's two things that I'll say about this. One is what's going to add value to the network. So that's the thing that, you've got to understand, and that's probably the most important thing. And two, this is just beneficial for the planet as a whole. So they're both positives here. Okay. So in regards to this, the first thing we're talking about is $1 billion in carbon credit assets to Hedera. Obviously that's huge. That's going to be a lot of activity that's going on over time. A lot of people using Hedera with regards to this. And then 600 million to family farms. So again, if this is obviously the platform that Dovu are using, and their aim is to try and give 600 million to family farms, well, that's a huge benefit to those family farms, right? So they're going to want to use Dovu if this is a possibility where they can, earn carbon credits for basically, being good to the planet with the way they do their things, with the way they operate and whatnot. So for me, look, what I'll say is King Solomon made a really huge point here, because he also said the same thing. And, I've definitely can tell when you do content, you kind of know what gets people's attention. And obviously a lot of it is all about price. So ultimately they want to know about price. But what you've got to understand is this kind of stuff is the building blocks. This is all the building blocks that's going to add to the price. That's what's going to build up value for the network over time. So, for the people who are just interested to see how this is all working out and how, over time the value will come, this is what you want to see. This is the kind of stuff. And, King Solomon mentioned himself, he said, a lot of people may look at this as kind of boring and stuff. I agree. I've definitely seen it on my channel too when you discuss these topics. But he said, at the end of the day, the way he sees this is that it's all relative, because he feels like eventually everything will be running under crypto technology. He said it's just an upgrade to the internet. Again, how many times have I been telling you all this? I've been saying, every time I try and compare crypto, I try and compare it to the internet. And the reason why I do that is because this is the next revolution, right? So we had the internet that came in, and now this is internet technology that's now bringing money, cryptocurrency. It's internet technology, internet currency. That's basically what it is. So it is the next step. It's the next evolution. And so when people think about this as just, this is boring kind of thing, it's well, if you're someone who wants to kind of have this reassurance about what you're invested in, as boring as you might think it is, this is the kind of stuff that you do want to see. This is the kind of things that you should be listening out for, because this is giving you an idea of where the future is going to go and why your network should eventually, gain value via HBAR. So yeah, to me, I think it's, I think it's a great thing to see, to be honest with you. And then, I have to move on to also the human element of it, right? Them trying to say here that the aim is to give 600 million to family farms. Well, you know how it is, guys. You've got these huge corporations out there that do whatever they do. This is to just family farms. This is trying to keep it a bit more, for the little guy, rather than, these big corporations, stick it to the man, as they say, that kind of thing, right? So it's a thing of, they really are trying to give back to, the little guy. That's the simplest way I can put it. And the other thing that I'll say about this is, carbon credits is all ultimately about trying to keep the planet safe, trying to do as much as we can to, respect the environment, and trying to be as clean, environmentally clean as we can. So, even just from the humane aspect of, this is a great thing to just keep these farmers and, corporations in check, to try and make sure they're doing the right thing, right? So yeah, I look at this and I think overall it's a huge benefit, and that's a lot of carbon credits. 1 billion in carbon credits over time. That's huge. That's going to be a lot of volume going on Hedera over time, and that's going to bring a lot of people over to Hedera, because if they've got the chance to be getting, huge amounts of carbon credits, like as it's saying here, over 600 million to family farms. Like, are they going to be wanting to participate? Of course. It's just simple. Like, if you put it to you like this, if someone comes around to you and says, hey, we're giving out free samples over here for whatever food, and you just like that food, are you going to go and get it? Yeah, of course you are. You know, so I'm not saying it's obviously just free, but it's just a thing where the opportunity is there for them to earn these carbon credits. So yeah, I think if they're going to have that opportunity, they're going to go where the money is. It's that simple. So this is all going to be happening over on Hedera. This is definitely, from a long-term aspect, going to be a huge positive. This is something that's going to add value. And again, when I talk about speculation, like, you might not fully understand it, and I'll be honest with you, I can say myself, I don't fully understand carbon credits to the fullest degree. I've got like very surface knowledge when it comes to this. But when you see these companies who are talking about, like, you know, all this carbon stuff that they're doing in terms of like the Hedera Guardian and all that kind of thing, like, this is the kind of stuff that they're going to be very impressed by. This is stuff that's going to draw more people in, because they're going to be like, oh wow, from a carbon perspective, Hedera is just, you know, it's just the best network you can choose. It's just great. You know, it's just got everything you want when it comes to a carbon friendly network. It's the best choice you can have. So, you know, again, I'm not saying I've know every single cryptocurrency out there, but when it comes to like carbon stuff, it just seems to me like I always see Hedera just getting the wins from that area. And again, it doesn't surprise me, because it is the most carbon friendly network. So I think that was part of their game plan when they created the hashgraph. I think the whole intention was to try and make it carbon friendly, because I think that was their intention, to release carbon friendly products and ultimately, you know, appeal to carbon friendly companies, because it's a big deal. It's something that's been touted for a long time now, trying to be carbon friendly. There's a lot of companies now that have reducing their carbon emissions as their mission, you know, their mission goal by, for example, like 2030. You know, they want to go net zero and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely something that's at the forefront of people and companies' minds. So when I see this, I just think, hey, this is the kind of thing that's going to add value over time. Definitely. This is the kind of stuff that is showing you that Hedera can handle this kind of volume. It can scale. And it shows you that it's going to have an audience. It's going to have a, you know, a market share within this particular type of area. So yeah, I thought I'd share this with you. Definitely a massive thing here, not to be underestimated at all. It is huge. And obviously, if I get any more information on this, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated. Thank you very much for watching this. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And hit that bell. Take care.